This has been great for President Trump, too, who managed to not be the lead story for once. Trump has been busy defending himself from the fallout of Tim Applegate. Do you know about this? Last week, there was a meeting. Business leaders came to the White House. Trump referred to Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, as Tim Apple. And Tim Cook had some fun with it. He changed his Twitter name to Tim Apple, and with the emoji. And Trump, I guess, didn't like it. He says he did not say Tim Apple. He told Republican donors over the weekend that he said Tim Cook Apple, but the word Cook went by so fast nobody noticed. Well, maybe it did go by fast. Let's take a look at that again.
You've really put a big investment in our country. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Guillermo, did you hear the word cook in the middle of Tim and Apple?
No, I don't think
let's
so.
Look at it. Maybe we went by too fast. We'll slow it down and watch it again.
Tim Apple.
Yeah, no. Clearly, he's not telling the truth, but here's the thing. Of all the serious subjects the president has lied about, no one would have cared about this. He misspoke. People do it all. It's not like he called him Tim Kardashian. He said Tim Apple. But still, he had to lie about it. He lies in the same way a 4-year-old comes out with his face covered with magic marker. You go, did you draw on yourself? And they go, oh, no. But one donor at Mar-a-Lago said he was surprised the president denied it. He was there when it happened. He said, why would you lie about that? It doesn't even matter. Well, it's because he lies about everything, so stop giving him money, okay? But the president is not one to give up a dumb fight. And so this morning, he offered yet another version of his Tim Apple story. He wrote, at a recent roundtable meeting of business executives, and long after formally introducing Tim Cook of Apple, I quickly referred to Tim plus Apple as Tim Apple as an easy way to save time and words. Right? And as we all know from his 2-hour speeches, the president hates to waste time with words. How can anyone have such thin skin? Could there be a chemical in the self-tanner he's using? Will someone please check the tube of banana boat tanning lotion he rubs all over himself? The president might have to explain this one, too. This is a selfie taken at Trump's Super Bowl party this year. The woman in it, the woman in the front, is the original owner of the day spa in Florida, where Patriots owner Bob Kraft scored his two-handed touchdown, Orchids of Asia. Her name is Cindy Yang. She's a Trump donor, and she posted the caption, "We love our president." 2 weeks after the owner of Patriots is at the spa, she's at Mar-a-Lago chumming it up with Trump during the Super Bowl. She does not own the spa any longer. She now runs a consulting business that reportedly offers to connect Chinese investors with Trump's inner circle. Here's another photo she posted with the president. She got this one signed in that crazy signature. And to me, the amazing thing, it's not that Trump is somehow connected to this woman. That was 100%. To me, the amazing thing is she's not a part of his administration. I mean, here she is with DJ TJ. Here she is with Eric Trump. Hey, Dad, I met a nice lady. I need to borrow $40 if you don't mind. Meanwhile, the president spoke to the media this weekend from the White House lawn. And watch this. And then after speaking to him, he wandered away as he waited for Melania. And there he is, our meanderer-in-chief, just kind of all alone on the lawn. So then Trump flew to Alabama to visit those affected by the tornado. And while he was there, he was at a Baptist church, he signed copies of the Bible. That's right. He signed the Holy Bible right on the cover, too. How much of a God complex do you have to autograph the Bible? I mean, how long until he just adds his name to the bottom of the Declaration of Independence? You know, for the top. Trump thinks the King James Bible was written by LeBron, so. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. If you want to see all our latest videos, click the subscribe button. And if you don't, click anyway and close your eyes when they come on.